Next up, County Commissioner District 8, I think, John Snider and Zabrina Santiago.
Thank you, JCs, for organizing this tonight. It's been a great opportunity to hear others and to gather here as a community. I'm Zabrina Santiago, and I grew up in Muskegon. I'm a graduate of North Muskegon High School, and I also had attended Mims Elementary from my own neighborhood by the Hume home. I went off to college at Elma College and got a liberal arts degree and made my way in the world in Chicago, where I took my first job at an investment firm. And I've been in that industry for over 25 years now. And over the years, we've been business owners here, small business owner in Muskegon, owning a cottage in the Bluffton area, so a member of Chamber of Commerce for a number of years and involved very, very closely in the community here, so pulse on it, even though I've lived in Chicago for years. And moving back last summer with my husband and our 4 daughters, began to get an even closer look at the community and tapping into what's possible. In my bid for the county commissioner position, I see this as a great opportunity to collaborate with and to take all of our incredible natural resources, our community leaders, to bring about a healthier economic community, and also one where we're happy to continue to raise our children. I'm running for office really for my kids, for the future of this county and what they can gain from living here and carry to the future. I have a background in doing a lot of community organizing and grassroots efforts, so I'm bringing that to the table here and working with the United Nations non-governmental organization.
Thank you. John?
I've been a resident of Muskegon County since 1961. We moved here from Detroit with our son and settled down in Muskegon, liking the area, having been recruited by a law firm out of Muskegon at the time. I was a practicing lawyer. I graduated from the University of Detroit, worked all the time when I was in law school, and had the support of my wife. I was married directly out of college, and am in my 60th year of marriage to my present wife. I have 3 children, all of whom grew up in Muskegon. I have 9 grandchildren, all of whom grew up in the Muskegon area, either in Fruitland Township, Montague, or in North Muskegon. And I have 2 great-grandchildren currently in Houston, Texas. I've been a community activist all of my life. I've been a community activist as long as I've been here, and I started off with finding out that there was an arena in town. I immediately signed up and started coaching junior hockey, started playing hockey at the time on a travel team, and got involved in the ownership of the hockey franchise. I have worked to try to keep the arena in business over all the period of time that I've lived in this community, and I hope that it will be a sustainable operation long into the future. I personally played hockey until I was 73 years old, and then because of a bad knee, I had to give it up. I've been a community activist in many other areas as well. I can't possibly enumerate them all. I'm a 60-year volunteer for the American Red Cross. I'm a 20-gallon blood donor, and some of you may be the beneficiary of some of my blood if you've ever had a transfusion. So there may be a little bit of me in you guys. I have been involved in ALLI, the Liquor Liability Association, and attempted to, that was funneled out of the drug-free coalition in Muskegon County that Mike referred to earlier. I fostered that with Bob Carter, the retired sheriff, back 8 or 9 years ago, and served as the chairman of that. Thank you. Can I take a couple of your minutes?
And that gets us to 1953. John, we're going to open up to questions, but maybe you can get some more of that in there on the question. Are there questions from the audience?
So as a county resident and a county employee, I think we all know that the budget is a concerning issue. Neither of you are an incumbent, so what are your plans to address that in the coming years, should you be elected?
Well, Terry took a little credit for earlier of trying to set up the arrangement that somehow or other the budget was and a plan was in place. I'm not sure that that's the case. I consider myself an incumbent because I served for 10 years from 2002 to 2012. And at the time, we did have a plan in place to be able to finance the jail modification and improvement. And that, unfortunately, seems to have gone by the wayside from what I understand. That plan involved better control over the management of the facility, and that seems to have disappeared. At the same time, there were going to be reductions in some of the employment areas, and I happen to think that there are other ways in which the budget could be balanced. One of which would be to consider the possibility that I broached back when I was actually the last year of my county commissionship, the possibility of taking the Register of Deeds and merging it into the county clerk's office. We have situations where we have some excess employees there, and that could be accomplished, I think, without too much difficulty and could result in some substantial savings. The other aspect that we have a lot of assets that are becoming liabilities. Jeff was right. One of the biggest expenses we have is electricity in the county. One of the biggest assets we have is the wastewater treatment facility. It's the largest federally qualified wastewater treatment facility in the United States. It has incredible potential, and it's not being realized. Jeff takes credit for the putting the solar in. Back when I was a county commissioner, we actually signed a lease to look at wind energy. And that lease is still apparently being taken over by someone else. The whole concept that Jeff enunciated was started back in 2010, and that is to get in electricity behind the grid. And that's the solution to a large part of the budget difficulty that the county experiences. The other is that there's an awful lot of general fund that's going out for assets that are really being underutilized, and that really needs to be examined.
Perfect. Zabrina, can you give us your thoughts in a couple of minutes?
Sure. Thank you for the question. And yeah, as someone coming in new to this role and looking at those numbers, it is going to be a lot of work in kind of uncovering that and uncovering what the best strategies are. I've spent 25 years looking at spreadsheets and looking at assets and liabilities. I bring that to the table. And interestingly enough, as I was working on my homework to prepare for this role in this campaign, I found it difficult to find some information. I'd like to see more transparency in that regard, and the ability for the common person to access information, and then to be able to influence more informed and conscientious decisions. It could be something, along the lines of merging offices. It may not be. It may not be a headcount issue. In working with a financial firm, often people go right to the resource of people who are employed, and often that isn't always the only solution. So work to be done, to be said, absolutely true, and looking to find more information on that to be better informed.
Thank you. One more question from the audience. Way in the back, you had your hand up earlier.
How you doing? As the Tony Barnes, the Dalton Township Supervisor-elect, this race right here will represent Precinct 3 of Dalton Township. And I would like to know from Mr. Snider, if you could tell me at least some of the history of the Superfund site, and what would some ideas be to help clean that up. Out knocking doors, I'm not trying to say that one of our constituents were in fact a conspiracy theorist, but her father passed away when she was 14 years old, digging out in the backyard and hit this 55-gallon barrel out there. So So I'd like to know what, since you've been here since 1961, what can we do to help clean up the Superfund site?
I will candidly answer you that I'm not sure. That is a Superfund site. It's under the jurisdiction of the federal government, and it is being cleaned up under the jurisdiction of the federal government. To the extent that there is input that is coming in from the community, you're free to contact the EPA, and you do know that they are pumping material up out of that Superfund site and treating it. All of that is something that over which the county really has no control. And that Superfund site has been ongoing for almost 25 years now. So I don't know if that's an answer to you. I can't answer you to a degree that would indicate that the county has any jurisdiction in that respect at all. I would like to indicate that one of the things that I did, I taught finance at the college level all of the time I was in law school, in addition to going to law school and working for a law firm in Detroit at 30 hours a week. And when I came here, I taught finance in the evening program at the community college for 3 years. That was one of my conditions, so that I could add a $50 a month paycheck to my $300 a month salary when we moved here. Things have changed.
Zabrina, would you like to address that, or do you want to take a shot at another question?
What I would just like to comment that that is a great health risk and environmental concern for all people in the county. So whether it's specific to Precinct 3 of District 8 of Dalton Township or not and beyond, it's a great concern for all of us. And again, to be able to find information on that, to have at least have the county be able to direct people to have information at hand for them and to learn so that they can be involved in the health of their local community.
Thank you both for joining us.